Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass, there's a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along.
I'm only speaking as somebody who's over 80. And so, you see that pipe over there? The same thing's happening to me.
So, Mr. Jorgensen, I would ask you, which poison do you wish? And then I would put that in as my suggested friendly amendment.
I recently had, my second leg had a new knee replaced there. And I think in terms of the utilities, just like me.
So I just don't get it. We're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to go ahead and raise the rates on one and not the other because it's a hardship. The whole damn thing's a hardship. And I don't think, I'm going to assume, unless you gave different numbers to the utility board than you gave to us, they got the same bad information we did. Okay? So we're making this decision on bad information in, and that's a bad decision out. So that's all I got to say.
Right before your eyes, we laughed up from the skies, and he laughs until he cries, and he dies, and he dies. I wasn't desperate. Well, yes, I was. But I knew that.
And I've harped on this for about 2.5 years, and I'm absolutely adamant that we need to get off these really goofy political long gap, high stair-step increase, long gap, because what happens traditionally, and you've heard me say this before, after a rate increase, everybody says, don't come back and talk about a rate increase for a while. No way, don't want to hear about it.
I knew that if I put it off until I really, really, really was desperate, I would suffer in the meantime, maybe a leak here and there.
The city of Riverside was not in a drought. It was a farce. But for 2 years, we had a reduction in service, and you all suffered by stop watering your lawns and many other things that you all did and sacrificed to help this city meet the demand by the state to cut our use by 30% for 2 years.
This rate increase is based upon one and only one thing: deception. Okay, we've got reserves rising just year on year, 20 million over at electric. This is not my statement. This is from RPU's financials. You got $278 million over at electric and another 60 at water, and we're getting around the reserve policies, blowing through the maximum reserves. You know how we're doing it? We're running a shell game. We're moving money around. We're hiding reserves. Okay, it's all there.
Many questions about the reserve funds have come up, and hopefully they were answered tonight. However, I will note it was brought up that someone still believes they're high. Well, they're high for one reason. We are part owner of San Onofre, and we have to pay for the decommissioning costs, and a lot of that money, it's in the reserves, is for that effort.
When the notice went out to the public about the water, the rate hike, it mentions water, but it never mentions electricity. I'll bet you most of your constituents don't even know there's an electric rate hike going on. Only the water is mentioned in there. That went out in the mailers.
Last night, I came home from a weekend in Sacramento for the school board and caught holy heck when I got in because my wife missed the royal wedding. The reason she did is that the TVs were flickering and going on and off, the lights were flickering, the microwave was going on and off, the dryer was going on and off. There was all sorts of things happening. Of course, it was my fault for going out of town.
The city manager also told me that he had given the former city manager, the former general manager of the utility, an order to ask for the stars, and this is an exact quote, the moon and the sky, so that we can raise these rates, fluff up, and this is the term used, fluff up the utility and our reserves so he could sell it.
Honestly, I do not know what it means to be in your shoes and to carry the weight and the mantle of elected leadership. I do know that leadership means to be wise and to be thoughtful and to be brave. Leadership means making the uncomfortable and hard decisions because you're looking out.
Soon the gypsy queen in a glaze of Vaseline will perform on guillotine. What a scene, what a scene.
You know, we had independent consultant reports being manipulated, being missing. We have missing resolutions with the city manager and city attorney's contracts. Those are the two people who were driving this rate increase. And I don't believe them. I think it's dishonest. This whole rate increase has been dishonest from the start. And I'm with Steve Adams. I think we need to get some new honest dealers in here and take another look at this entire rate increase.
Next on the stand, will you please extend a hand to Alexander's ragtime band, Dixieland, Dixieland.
We live in a beautifully historical city, and with that comes the responsibility to take care of its infrastructure. So it's really important that we make the investment that is necessary to take care of the city that we live in, the city that is growing, and the city that we want to see flourish. We've had no increases in 7 years, and you've heard that over and over. So how can we expect us to get things done when we haven't had the rate increases that are really necessary?
How did RPU accumulate such a large reserve if they were not overcharging us for the last 7 years? Next, no one ever mentions this. I never heard this at the Public Utilities Board. The employees of the City of Riverside and Public Utilities are locked into 5-year raises from 3 to 6% each year. That's like a 30% raise. Automatic raises. Whoopee.
In that meeting, and in 3 subsequent meetings where I was contacted to be given what they told me was going to be the correct numbers on what our situation was in the utility and why we needed to do a rate increase, In all 3 meetings, I was given bogus numbers.
I think we've done our homework here. I appreciate the comments of my colleagues who may not be as convinced as I am. I think staff and the community have done a good job on this, and I would move approval.
I have confidence in our Chamber of Commerce. I have confidence in the RPU board and many of my fellow residents that are here today. And while no one likes a raise, as many have said, but some of the most vital decisions are the most difficult ones. And so, but I would say we're thankful for people like Connie Ransom who can keep us laughing and keep us enjoying some fun jokes and doing these difficult decisions, because that's so vital.
So I caution you very carefully. Make sure that you're not thinking about this logically. Make sure you're thinking about it emotionally and how it affects all of our constituents, all of our business constituents, all of our future and current employees, and think about it emotionally.